My dad missed my graduation for his fiancée, so I missed their wedding. I sat on my bed when Grandma shoved open my bedroom door and stepped inside the room. "You're really not going?" she demanded. I glanced up at her, noticing she was dressed in her best outfit, makeup done perfectly along with her hair. I was still in my sweats and hoodie, typing away at my laptop. I shook my head. "No," I said coldly, "I'm not." Grandma tutted in a disapproving tone. Her voice softened as she stepped further into the room. "Ellie," she said hesitantly, "he's your dad. It's his wedding. They're getting married in 4 hours. We all want you there. Why are you punishing him like this?" I shrugged and turned back to my computer. "I have a lot of homework to do," I muttered. Grandma was about to respond when my phone buzzed with a message from my mom. "You better be at the wedding." I frowned, not understanding why she cared so much when she divorced the man. "This is about graduation, isn't it?" Grandma continued, getting my attention. "You're still mad at him for not going." I glared at her. "He promised he would be there," I snapped. "Then he misses it because his fiancée has some mental breakdown because something went wrong with her wedding dress. And you expect me to be fine with that?" I scoffed and shook my head. "Regardless, you're breaking your father's heart by not going to his wedding," Grandma said coolly. I laughed loudly. It was a sharp sound that held no humor. I began pointing out other times he wasn't there for me. "Prom," I said. "What about prom? When he promised to be here to take pictures with me and Mom. Mom's new boyfriend had to take the pictures because Dad said his fiancée was more important and had an emergency about the wedding venue." I shook my head at her. She opened her mouth to respond, but I continued before she could. "And what about Thanksgiving? When I got accepted into UCLA and I was going to announce it then. But Dad interrupted me to propose to his girlfriend. Then Mom told me not to say anything else about my announcement because it would ruin Dad's engagement. I told Dad later in the kitchen, but I doubt he even heard me because he was too busy texting his new fiancée." I paused to take a breath and Grandma butted in quickly before I could continue. "Your father loves you," she protested. I rolled my eyes. "I know," I muttered. "And he's trying to fix things with you," she added. "I know," I repeated. "But that doesn't magically erase everything he's done. All his mistakes. Let's talk about my birthday a few weeks ago. He brought his fiancée and spent the whole time talking about the wedding coming up and planning it. I didn't even get dessert because they wanted to rush out and see the wedding venue. He's done this so many times. Chosen his fiancée over me. I'm so done with it. So no, I'm not going to the wedding. If the wedding dress was important enough to miss my graduation, then maybe homework is important enough to miss his wedding." I turned back to my laptop and Grandma sat on the bed next to me. I waited for her to tell me I was right and to take my side. She took my hand and said quietly, "He's your father. He loves you. Missing his wedding isn't going to make things go away. It's just going to hurt him. And you, be the bigger person and go to the wedding. It's at 4. You can still make it if you leave now." She stood and left the room, leaving me frozen on my bed. I wanted to scream at the unfairness of it all. I wanted to yell at Grandma to make her see my side of things. But of course she was going to take her son's side of things. Who cares how Dad treated me? I scrolled through my phone, looking at every canceled plan, every text message between us, every time Dad put his fiancée first. Rage filled me until my fingers began shaking. 4 o'clock came and went and I was still on my bed, tapping away at my computer. I refused to go to his wedding. I didn't care if that made me immature. He hurt me for the last time. Dad showed up at the house later that night, still dressed in his tux with his new bride on his arm. Mom let him in and he stormed into the living room where I was eating dinner. I paused with my fork halfway to my mouth as I stared at him. "You're pathetic," Dad snarled. "You couldn't go to my wedding? What were you trying to accomplish?" I set my fork down calmly and stared him down. "After how you've treated me, you don't get to come in here and gripe at me for not showing up for you," I sneered. Dad stared at me in shock, never hearing me take that tone with him before. I stood and grabbed my plate. "We're done," I said coldly. "I refuse to call you my father." Then I stomped past him, shoulder checking him as I went, and he just stood there and accepted it.